I don't give a fuck.
What's up, guys? Today we got to discuss Dana White because I believe Unk is washed. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I believe Dana White is absolutely washed. He was at the UFC 316 post-fight press conference, and this was one of the most embarrassing press conference performances, I guess you can call it that, performance, that I've ever seen. You know, he was clueless. He was contradicting himself. It was just, he had a sore throat from who knows what, John Jones. But honestly, though, it was ridiculous. And we haven't seen him in a while. He didn't do the post-fight press conference for 315 because he didn't want to get the questions about, Islam and Ilya. That's what I think, at least. He didn't want to be bombarded with questions about Jones and stuff. So they sent some random white guy out there to do it. He's just been gone for a while doing God knows what. He's promoting Canelo Crawford as well, so he's not off of that. He's actually promoting it. We'll get to that later. But this is just ridiculous. But let's react to this. All credit to the Mac Life. This is their channel. This is their video. I'm just reacting. So, yeah.
We have 3 of the 4 top 5 gates here. We're number 1, number 4, and number 5 all time. Tonight was number 4.
So I want to talk about that real quick. The gates. He says that they have 3 of the 5 gates or whatever the fuck. Bro, the reason they have such good gates is because they charge like thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars for nosebleed seats. Just basic seats. Dude, what the hell did I pause on? Look at Dana's face. What the oh my, he looks horrible. What the hell did I just pause on? He looks like a Chinese monster. But anyways, the reason that the gates are so impressive, quote unquote, is because they charge an insane amount of money. But let's continue.
Performance of the night went to...
Oh, this pissed me off. Listen to this.
You, Holland, Kayla, and Merab.
You deserved it. Merab, Holland, and Kayla Harrison are millionaires, bro. Joshua Van did not get a performance of the night. Andreas Gustafsson did not get a performance of the night. 2 guys that are making 5K to 5K, 10K to 10K. At this point, Joshua Van's making more than that, probably, maybe 20 to 20, 30 to 30. I obviously, look, the more they fight, the more money they make. I know this. He's not making as much as he was on his first couple of fights. I know, guys. But I'm just saying, like, you're giving Merab performance of the night. He's a multi-millionaire. You're giving Kayla Harrison performance of the night. She's a multi-millionaire. But no, Joshua Van doesn't get one. And it's funny because on my live stream reaction to this card, me and my chat were saying, like, they're not going to give it to Van. I guarantee you they're not going to give it to Van. They're going to give it to the millionaire Kevin Holland, the multi-millionaire. But whatever, let's keep going.
$150,000.
So then, first of all, we'll talk about Merab. His great performance. He's starting to look like one of the best bantamweights of all time, if not the best. When you look at a performance like that, what do you think it takes to beat a guy like Merab at this point?
Yeah, I agree. We've been talking about that. We don't know. And Sean O'Malley came in 100% healthy, ready, mentally, physically, in every way you could be ready for this fight. And Merab finished.
Yeah.
That's all you got for that, Dana? Oh, yeah, we don't know. We were just talking about that, and Merab finished him. That's it. That's all you have to talk about for Merab's insanely good performance against O'Malley. That's all he's got for that, really? Just the most basic answer? You would think he'd sit here and be like, yeah, Merab is undoubtedly the greatest bantamweight of all time. He did that for Usman. When Usman was on his shitty little winning streak, he was saying, oh, Usman's the best welterweight of all time and one of the best of all time. He did that like that immediately. You know why? Because he hated GSP. But for Merab, it's just, impressive. Nothing. Just shucks off like crazy.
You think it's just a case of now that Merab can just keep racking up these wins?
So now this guy has to ask a follow-up question because he didn't get a good answer at all.
His legacy to just cement the fact that he's the best ever, or would you call him the best bantamweight of all time already?
Again, so he basically reacts the same question because Dana didn't answer his first question properly.
Yeah, listen, he's definitely he's there, and he will keep racking them up, I'm sure.
Listen to how checked out he is. His brain is like mush. He's the best bantamweight of all time, and sure, and he's just so checked out. He has no passion. There's no passion behind his voice. How did they pick this guy to promote Canelo Crawford, man? We'll get to that, but No
The
passion.
Umar rematch is interesting, you know, and it makes your legacy even better when you ran through everybody twice. So
You
we'll
think
see.
that could happen before the Corey Sandhagen fight? Or do you think,
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I saw people getting mad that he said. I'll actually defend Dana a little bit here too. I saw people getting really mad. He was like, "Oh, he's gonna do the Umar fight next." That's not what he said. That's not what he said. He says the Umar rematch would be interesting in the future. Obviously, is what he's referring to. But Corey is next. So people were getting mad. I saw some. He's not going to do the Umar fight next. Relax, guys. I know the UFC have burned this a lot this year. We're like, yeah, you're getting a shot and Strickland getting a rematch, but they're not doing Umar next. Sorry. Even though I saw the rankings today, Umar is above Peter Yan in the rankings, but he's coming off of a loss. It's just whatever, bro. Joke of a sport.
yeah. Obviously, Kayla Harrison won, become the new champion, and I think sometimes people criticize women's MMA, but when her and Amanda faced off, it felt like a really big fight. Do you agree with how big that fight is, and do you think it's as big as it used to be when you originally wanted to make it back in the day?
I do, because I think, you know, now that she's come in the UFC and she's actually won the belt and fought her way up, and, you know, Amanda, people respect what Amanda did here. So I agree with you. It felt big. It was a badass day, and it was all organic. That was fake. We had no intentions of her going up into the octagon. I actually had to tell the guys to let her up. They weren't even letting her in. So yes.
Okay.
Just a mid answer. No, like, yeah, you know, Nunez versus Harrison. This could be one of the biggest fights in the history of women's MMA, if not the biggest fight in the history of women's MMA. You have someone who's a former blah, 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 and you could just go off and promote. You're a promoter. Go into promoter mode, man. Turn it on. He's just off.
I want to ask you about something else outside of tonight. It's a conversation we've had many times now, the Tom Aspinall, John
Here we go. This is the stuff right here. All right.
Jones fight. It's a bit different now, right? Because John's been tweeting a lot about
Turning
the fact
into
that he's
Dana
told
with
you his
my
plans, he's
dry
ready to
throat.
vacate the belt, and all the rest of it.
He said he's ready to vacate the
He
belt.
said he doesn't care if you strip him, he would vacate
So let's listen to that part again. So Dana, so clueless. Listen to this.
a lot about the fact that he's told you his plans, he's ready to vacate the belt, and all the rest of it.
He said he's ready to vacate the
He
belt.
said he doesn't
He
care.
says he's ready to vacate the belt. Yes, Dana. Have you not been paying attention to this entire saga? What is going on?
If you strip him, he would vacate it.
Fucking crazy. Yeah.
Oh, crazy, yeah. Well,
I've been busy.
I've been busy promoting Canelo Crawford and not my own fucking company. This guy, man. I've been busy. Doing what? You're not the one in the meetings talking to like Netflix and Amazon. You know, maybe he's there, but it's really probably not him. It's like the UFC lawyers and executives. What has he been busy doing? He missed the UFC 316 press conference because apparently he was promoting some like drink or something, some energy drink. There was pictures of him out like hugging people. It's like, what is he doing? Yeah, I was busy doing a power slap matchmaking, kid. I was busy. John Jones is not just, he's not Joshua Van. He's the heavyweight champion. He's a top contender. He's your biggest star. Even though I don't even think he is anymore, to be honest. I think as time goes on, like Ilya's going to surpass him. Islam's going to surpass him. Personally, I don't think John is as big of a star as the UFC think, but maybe the numbers are different than what I think. Who knows?
Keeping up with the gossip. He comes back. He's either back today or came back yesterday or whenever he's in Thailand. So he's home. We'll be home tonight and Tuesday. We'll figure this out.
Why does it take for Tuesday for you to figure out something that should have been figured out months ago? He's in Thailand, and so you knew he was in Thailand, but you didn't know about any of his tweets. You didn't know about any of his antics at all, but you knew he was in Thailand. Obviously, he's probably has talked to John. They talk to each other every night. We know this. When the wives are asleep, John and Dana, they call each other. We know this. But it's just Tuesday. We have to wait till Tuesday. I'm recording this on a Tuesday, and I don't think anything's going to come out from this. So if it does, I guess I'll do a separate video on it. If they just announce, John Jones has been stripped of the belt, blah, blah, blah. If they do announce that, that'd be cool. I'd love that. Let's move on from this. And this is not even a John Jones hate video. This is more just me clowning on Dana, by the way. I think I'm done with the Jones videos. Until he does something insane, then I'm going to do another one. So
If he doesn't fight, because he also called out Francis Ngannou. He said he'd rather fight Francis, which I see.
Who did?
John.
Who did? Like, John. Like, pay attention to the conversation, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Not that interested in that.
Then he just laughs to himself.
But if he doesn't fight Tom Aspinall and he does walk away, do you think he's
Bro,
done?
look at Dana's face. Does he kind of reminds me of Do you guys know Sloth from the Goonies? That's what he reminds me of a little bit. He reminds me of Sloth from the Goonies. Anyways, let's keep going.
Would you?
Tom Aspinall's the guy. He's the guy. I don't know. Yeah, well, let's see how this plays. Listen, if the guy wants to retire
What do you mean we have to see how this plays out? This is such different. Let's keep listening.
and doesn't want to fight, nothing you do. I didn't want.
What? That's completely different verbiage than what he was saying like 2 months ago, where he was like, no, this fight is happening. We're going to announce it soon. He said this when he announced Charles versus Ilya on Instagram a couple of weeks ago. He said in that same live, he said, the heavyweight fight's going to happen. We're going to announce it soon. So
Habib to retire. I thought DC should have stayed in it longer. So it's none of my business. I'll do what I can to make the fight if we can.
those were different scenarios, though. Those were very different scenarios. Like with DC, he had just lost his belt. He had just lost. So him retiring made sense. He was like 30-something. He had just lost to Stipe's greatest rival. Him retiring made sense. He's coming off of a loss. John is your current champion. That doesn't, like, it just doesn't. And with Habib, it's like, we know why he left because of his father passing and his mother's wishes and stuff. That made sense. John has no reasoning to not fight Tom other than just ducking.
If he's talking that crazy shit, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
He didn't realize that the heavyweight champion of his promotion was talking crazy on social media. That's a lie. That's a blatant lie, I think. Because every company, every sports company has like social media people that see the stuff that people tweet. If LeBron James tweeted out like something super, I don't know, it's Pride Month. If he said something super, like just blank phobic, he would get like super, like he'd get fined. They probably wouldn't fire him because he's LeBron James, but like he'd get reprimanded for it. So there's no way they haven't seen John Jones's tweets. There's no way. And
last one on this. I remember the time when GSP announced he was walking away after the.
This is a good point. This is a great point because the GSP thing. So let him elaborate a little bit. But GSP basically
Johnny Hendricks fight
was completely bullied by Dana a couple years ago.
And you said he owes it to the belt and the company to at least defend it against the guy that rightfully should fight for it. Do you think that's kind of the same here with John?
Yeah, but John's.
Yeah, so honestly, let me try to find the GSP thing because it's actually kind of an insane contrast. Let's listen to Dana White and how completely different of a tune he had for GSP, who was way more of a company man than John. Showed up for the UFC, did all these things, was not embarrassing them outside the cage. But you know why Dana hated GSP? Because he wanted stricter drug testing. That's why. That's the only reason why. GSP always fought the rematches. He fought BJ Penn, and he fought a couple times, and he fought Matt Hughes twice, I believe. But no, let's clown on him. Listen to this.
I'm a promoter. He's the biggest pay-per-view star on the planet for me, and I still don't think he won that fight. I want what's fair, and that wasn't fair. I think the Nevada State Athletic Commission.
Now, just shitting on him for the result is one thing, right? A lot of people say that was a robbery. But let's get into the way he reacts to GSP wanting to retire.
He didn't say, I'm going to retire, I'm hanging it up, it's been great, everybody. Thanks a lot for all the years, see you later. He said, I'm going to take some time off. And First of all, that decision that happens, right? You don't just say, hey, I'm going to take a while off, and maybe I'll be back, maybe I won't.
But John can do it? But John Jones can do it, though. John Jones can go to Thailand. It's just blatant hypocrisy. Oh, you don't do that, but John is doing it right now, and you have no problem with it.
The fans, you owe it to that belt, you owe it to this company, and you owe it to Johnny Hendricks to give him that opportunity.
John owes it to Tom Aspinall to give him that opportunity. And guess what? Hendricks was not the interim champion. Tom is. And he's younger than Hendricks was, I believe.
Fight again.
That's it, man. That's it. Dana. So listen to the difference in tune.
John's been John since he walked in the door here. And yeah, I was younger then. Yeah.
I was younger then. John's been John. It's just like, you were younger then as an excuse. So then leave. Honestly. Oh, I was younger then and I cared more. I cared more is really what you meant to say. I cared more because you don't care.
Really, shit doesn't go the way you would like it to go all the time.
Dana, what did you make of Patchy Mick's performance? Because it felt like when he came into the UFC, there was a bit more buzz from the diehard fans than the Chandlers and the MVPs. Because Patchy's in his prime, he's 21-1, he was the reigning champion coming over, and then online it just the kind of the narrative was that was not the Patchy Mix we had seen the last several years in there against Mario. So I'm curious, what did you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it happen before when you come from the smaller shows and get to the UFC. Some people shine, some people have a rough time. It's not easy. So.
And with Marab, is he just like a promoter's dream? Because he's a character. He does have exciting fights. He said
This is very interesting. So the Patchy Mix thing is whatever, right? This part is interesting because he's going to say something. Let's just say he's going to say, I can't even speak. I'm like Dana now. He's going to say something. He's going to say something very interesting that is just not true. And it's just not how he in the UFC operates.
that he wants to defend the belt 2 more times this year, which is 4 title fights in 1 year. Is he just a promoter's dream?
Yeah, I love that.
Listen to this.
Yeah, and he looks better every time he fights too. He looked really good tonight. Yes, yeah, he's.
A similar question about Joshua Van.
He doesn't even answer. He just doesn't give any answers, man. They're trying to bait him to giving praise to Marab, and he just doesn't even have anything for him. Just give them something, some sort of article to write or.
He's 23. He's like 2-0, 3-0 this year. He wants to fight 5-6 times this year. He's already saying he wants to fight in San Antonio and Noche UFC. So the broadcast seems to think he's a budding star at flyweight.
Anybody who talks like that and says, I want to fight as many times this year, it's just the greatest thing you can do for yourself. If you're really built that way, when you look at the old-time fighters in boxing, some of those guys used to fight every weekend. So yes, when that is your mentality, I agree with the guys. And if you can win, look at Hamzat when we were in Fight Out.
Now he's talking about Hamzat Chimaev. The question was about Joshua Van specifically. This was your time, Dana, to promote Joshua Van, a guy who is one of the most exciting prospects, not just at flyweight. Honestly, not even just in the UFC, but in all of combat sports. He's super exciting. He's quickly, really, really quickly building a fan base. And what does Dana do? He just starts talking about Hamzat Chimaev from 5 years ago. What are we doing here, man?
He's like,
that was a layup for you to glaze Joshua Van, bro. And he just didn't.
Yeah, next weekend. Yeah. I said, okay. Yeah. Love it.
Same for Kevin Holland. He won and he says...
Oh, look at that. When you say Kevin Holland, he twists his head, he gets all excited, smacks his teeth.
Worst welterweight in the division and says he wants to fight Colby Covington.
Look at this. He's smiling.
It's a fun fight.
Yeah. And then just last one.
It's a fun fight. Where's the promotion? Where's the energy? Where's the passion? You see guys like me. You see guys like No Bromo or shout out No Bromo, MMA Guru, Bad Time, Lucas. All the big MMA YouTubers. You see, fucking even Kenny Okoye. You see us, we're passionate about the sport. We're passionate about what we talk about. I know I just consider myself a big MMA YouTuber, but you know what I mean. All the MMA YouTubers, big or small, doesn't matter. We're all passionate about the sport. Way more passionate than Dana currently is, seemingly. It's just the difference. The way we talk about the sport, the way we talk about the fights. Then you got Dana who's just like, yeah, nice fight. He doesn't care, man. Get him out of here. I don't want to hear the excuses anymore. Oh, but it's TKO's fault. Oh, but if Dana leaves, then I really don't care anymore. He seems checked out. I don't know what's going on in his personal life. I don't really want somebody who's checked out to be running the UFC, so get him out of here, please. Honestly, just get him out of here. I don't want to hear, oh, no, it would be worse without Dana. I don't even care anymore. Just get him out.
For me, more unrelated to this fight, but Turkey made it seem like you weren't going to be promoting the Terrence Crawford-Canelo fight.
This is also another interesting thing.
Is there anything you can kind of clear up on that?
He made it feel like I wasn't?
Yeah, well, he said that someone else was promoting it. He didn't say no TKO. He just didn't include your name in a tweet, and people kind of freaked out online about where'd Dana go.
I'm going to tell you what's awesome, man. So there's a lot of fucked up things about boxing, but they don't say shit. Nobody talks. It's the most amazing thing. If we sign a deal, I gotta fucking get on my phone quick and go, hey, we just fucking, because 90,000 people will be out there talking about it. These guys don't talk. I'm promoting the fight.
Is that fight happening in Vegas still?
That's pretty funny. I guess he actually does have a decent point. I will say this. Again, I'm not gonna only shit on Dana this whole video. He does have a decent point about, look at Brandon Royval, for example. Manel Cat pulled out. Royval instantly goes to Instagram in his car. Yeah, Manel Cat pulled out. I'm facing Joshua Van 317. Just instantly like that. They were probably going to announce that today. I haven't checked yet, but it's probably official for today. Or officially announced for today. At the time of this recording, this is a Tuesday. I'm recording this. 6/10/25. So my point is basically he does actually have a point where fighters are so quick to just be like, oh, I got to fight 317. I'm facing Joshua Van. I would have preferred the UFC announced that. That would have been cooler in my opinion, but it is what it is. So he does actually have a decent point there, to be fair. Like even with Merab, like, dude, Merab instantly I got a cut on my eyebrow. Let me show everybody I have a cut. It's just...
I'll let you guys know when it's time to let you know. Yeah.
Dana here. To go back to Merab and his desire to have 4 title defenses this year, that's never happened before. The most was 3, and a few fighters have done that. Would you be willing to accommodate that schedule for him?
So this was the part that I thought he was going to get into earlier, that I was going to expand on, but he didn't really get into it. But he gets on this part about, sort of offering people fights, and whoever wants to fight, we'll give him a fight.
If he wants to...
I never say no to guys that want to fight too much.
That's BS. That's instant BS, because there's plenty of examples of guys in the UFC right now that have been begging for fights that have not been given anything, right? Rafael Fiziev, for months and months and months, was asking for a fight. Couldn't get him anything. It took for Dan Hooker to freaking pull out for them to give him Justin Gaethje on short notice. So the fact that he even took that fight on 2 weeks' notice or however many weeks' notice tells me he was really in shape and he was ready to fight. MVP has been asking for a fight, according to, I think I heard like DJ say this on like one of his YouTube videos, that MVP has been telling him he wants to fight. Now MVP is apparently facing Jared Cannonier at middleweight. Random fight, I know. It's just like, there's nothing. And maybe that's not their fault. We might expand on this later about maybe it's not really the UFC's fault. Maybe it's more of a fighter thing. But yeah, there's plenty of guys in the UFC that want to fight. Aljamain Sterling has said that he's been ready for a while and they're not offering him anything. So this is not necessarily true from Dana, but it is what it is. Let him sit up here and lie.
Yeah.
There's no such thing.
Yeah. And just Kayla, like obviously Olympic gold medalist, 2-time now UFC champion, 2-time PFL champion. Where would you rate her, I guess, amongst like the greatest combat sports athletes overall resume?
Well, I mean,
That's just such a boring question. I'm sorry, no offense. That's just a very boring question. What do you want him to say? Oh, she's number 1. And then there's your headline. Like, ask something better than that, man. Come on.
just one tonight. I mean, let's let her defend a couple times. And
I was gonna say, like, what did you think Dana's answer was gonna be? She's the GOAT. Like, come on, bro. That was such a boring question.
and obviously she's going to fight the GOAT. So see how that plays out. But yeah, I mean, what she's accomplished.
But it's also a layup for Dana to start promoting her, and he's just not really like, he just doesn't even care.
As an athlete, period, is awesome.
She was in here talking about how hard the weight cuts on her, and like it was really scary. Maybe a rematch at 35. Would you ever entertain doing that fight
let's
first?
skip ahead.
But now that we know, and we know that Amanda really does want to fight her, we'll start figuring out all the details.
Yeah. And to go back to the thing on John Jones, did you see
Okay,
the
here we go. Who cares about women's stuff? Let's go.
petition online from the fans?
Yeah.
What did you just make of that?
So he saw the petition. So he's gonna shit on the petition. Spoiler alert: he's gonna completely shit on it, but he saw it. Listen to this.
Every human on earth was DMing it to me, and
Every human on earth was DMing it to him.
I mean, I know you say you always listen to the fans and give the fans what they want. I'm just curious what you make of that.
How many fans are there worldwide now? Like, what's the number? It's like 400 million or something like that. Yeah, 130,000 people want to see him stripped.
There's like 400 million or something like that. Why does he always have to ask he always has to ask somebody to the right, like a basic question? And he's saying, how many fans are there worldwide? 400 million and only 200,000, 100,000 want to see them stripped? Yeah. First of all, you said every person on the planet was asking you about it. So people are clearly like, it's working, obviously, brother. Obviously, brother. I'm Max Holloway now. And at the same time, it's like, bro, a UFC hasn't done like 600,000, 700,000 pay-per-view buys in years. So for him to diminish 200,000 signatures is like, oh, but we have 400 million people watching worldwide. Oh, but how many pay-per-view buys do you get, Dana? How many people watch fight nights? I guarantee you only like 100,000 people watch Macy Barber versus Blanchfield. I guarantee you it's probably some super low number like that. Maybe not that low, but come on, bro. It's insane he'll say that, oh, we have 400 million fans and only 200,000 people signed it. Yeah, that's like half of your like pay-per-views nowadays, bro. Like that's half of your pay-per-view numbers. I don't want to hear it. And I'm pretty sure it has more than 200,000 by the time of this recording. It's going to hit probably, if it keeps going, it's going to hit 400, 500,000. It's going to keep getting bigger. What does it? It needs to have 400 million signatures for Dana to care. It's just crazy.
Not enough.
No, I'm not saying that. It's kind of fucking silly.
Sure.
This whole thing is silly. This whole John Jones ordeal is silly. This entire, we're waiting for the heavyweight champion to defend his belt is silly, Dana. This entire thing is silly. A petition is not that silly when it just shows that the fans are sick of the shit. You can diminish it all you want. You can shit on it. You can say it's silly. But at the end of the day, you still being the promoter of the UFC with your dumb, sloth-looking face is silly.
We didn't see you in Montreal. What did you think of Jack Del Maddalena's title
It was
win over
incredible.
Muhammad?
Yeah, incredible performance.
Yeah, and
Incredible performance. That's all he has for JDM's. Like, star-making performance where he just destroyed Bilal. He said incredible performance. And that's it. That's all he said. What the hell? What is... Please, I don't want to see anyone defend Dana White in the comments of this video or in the comments of any video ever again. When he's this checked out. He's so checked out. Oh, yeah, it was a great performance. Next question? Like, bro, that's when you should be like, yeah, it was a tremendous performance from Jack. And, you know, a lot of people did count him out. I know he was the underdog going into that fight. And look, Bilal Muhammad, he's a monster as well. He's an absolute dog. So to do that to a guy like Bilal Muhammad and have that kind of a war, I mean, it was one of the best fights I've ever seen and blah, blah, blah. And him versus Makhachev is going to be sensational. We can't wait for that one. That's going to be a super fight in my opinion. Like, you get into promoter mode. See how easy that was? You see how I just did that off the top of my head? And I'm not Dana White. I'm not a promoter. You know, I'm not a snake oil salesman like Dana, or I don't have a silver tongue like him. Pause. That sounds weird. Silver tongue. I know it's a phrase, but it just sounds gay. Anyways.
you're looking at Islam and Jack for some time this
John Jones is a rainbow tongue. Anyways.
We're working on some stuff, yeah.
And just
Are we looking at Islam versus Jack? We're working on some stuff. Just say yes. All you have to do is say, yeah, that's probably going to be the plan by the end of the year. Just say that. If that's what you're working on, you might as well just say it publicly. Fuck, man. He's such an awful promoter.
Just last thing, do you have any updates on the rights negotiations deal for the U.S.? Like, are talks happening? When could we hear an announcement?
We're into it. We're deep into it. Yeah. Could happen in June, July, August, or September.
Okay.
June, July, August, or September. So basically the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Yep.
Oh,
Could you talk to us about Zombie, on your right, Dana?
Yeah.
Talk to us about Zombie Jr. You. Talk.
You talk. Talk to us about Zombie Jr. You talk. Why do you say it like that? Talk to us about Zombie Jr. You talk.
Talk to us about Zombie Jr. You. Talk.
Yeah.
You talk.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I'm glad I signed him.
Fair.
All right.
See what happens.
Did you sign the petition?
Okay.
I'm glad I signed him.
He can strike pretty well. We going to get a good step up in competition from soon, or just going to...
I don't know. He just won tonight. I mean, we'll
Fair.
see what happens.
I mean, he just won tonight. We'll see what happens.
Did you sign the petition?
Did he sign the petition?
No, I did not.
Dana, back here. A couple of things. Did you notice the thing just before Marab was walking out? There was like a kind of a fence collapse.
All right, I think is this
the PFL or Francis could do to make that a realistic?
okay? Francis
option
Ngannou in the PFL and Dana. Let's hear this.
for you guys, or are you fully focused on Aspinall?
Yeah, it's Aspinall's fight. I mean, we've been talking.
It's Aspinall's fight, but the fight's not happening, bro. It's seemingly not happening. So you can keep saying it's Aspinall's fight, but it's just it gets to a point. See, this is what sucks, right?
This kid forever about it, and
Let's keep listening.
it's his fight. Listen, you can't make people fight. If John doesn't want to fight, you can't make him fight.
Now all of a sudden it's we can't make John Jones fight. This was a completely different tune. This was a completely different tune. The tune was for a while. It was this fight is happening. It's confirmed 1,000% it's happening. Now it's the fight's not happening. And I think Ariel, actually, we can look at this now from Ariel. So this is from Ariel. So he says, Dana White said the most significant thing regarding John X Tom Aspinall in a very long time. The problem is he didn't tell you the whole story. He told you John initially accepted the fight, but he didn't tell you John went back on his word. Eventually that part will come out. So I believe this. I believe this, and this is kind of what I've been saying as well from my sources. No, I'm kidding. I don't have any sources, but this is what I've been saying, and this is kind of what Ariel has been saying, and I'm inclined to believe Ariel has probably the best sources of anyone in MMA media. John accepted the fight. That's why Dana was saying the fight is happening, the fight is happening, the fight is happening. Seemingly now with Dana's whole verbiage of the kid doesn't want to fight, I can't force people to fight. Seemingly what's happening now is John went back on his word. So my guess is nothing was signed, but John told Dana, yeah, I'll fight him. Just give me time. I'll fight him. I'm going to go to Thailand. And, he was basically just trying to postpone it. I also think what happened was legitimately they offered him $30 million. And I believe what happened is he asked for $30 million. They said, all right, here, 30 mil. Now sign the contract. And he said, oh, you guys are actually offering me 30 mil. Oh, wow. Yeah, just give me a little bit more time. So I think honestly, like, he did not expect them to. I think it's a price himself out kind of thing where it's like, let me just say the highest number I can think of because I know they're not going to match it. So then I can say, well, it's not up to me. I just wanted more money for it. Because that's what he was doing with Francis. A lot of you guys don't remember, like, even when he was bulking up to heavyweight and all this crap, he was also asking for a fuck ton of money against Francis. And I believe at that time he was asking for like 10 million or more than 10 million. So this guy's always done stuff like this. He'll price himself out or he'll come up with an excuse like, actually, I'm the GOAT. I don't need to fight. I don't even want to speak about, I don't want to make this a John Jones video. It's more about Dana, to be honest, but still. So let's continue a little bit with this, but.
You can try to make him fight. We can throw things at him that inspire him to want to fight, but
money, obviously.
We'll figure it out.
Regarding this
different verbiage than he's had for a while.
This TKO boxing thing, it did seem kind of interesting because I know that there was the Netflix upfronts and
okay, I don't care about this.
In the last couple of weeks.
I don't really know. Listen, we're at work at UFC
with Turkey, like, and how often are you guys in community?
We let her. They faced off, and here we go.
Typically, when you're giving out this honor, Holloway thing, lose twice to Volkanovski back.
It depends on the talent. I mean, the guys.
All right, that's it. I think that's it, unless I'm missing something.
Just, I don't want to promote it. I like Muay Thai too, but
he doesn't want to promote kickboxing. Who cares about that? Honestly, it's like with the kickboxing thing, it's like, I mean, he'll promote power slap, but not kickboxing. So I don't even want to get it. Like, that's just I don't want to promote kickboxing and Muay Thai. I'll promote power slap though, and bull riding and stuff, and I'll promote Canelo Crawford instead of my own sport. But
coming maybe in the future.
Cheeto Vera and who?
And Sean O'Malley.
Cheeto Vera and Sean O'Malley. This chick is a bit of a tard. Anyways, that's it. That's pretty much it in regards to Dana. I wanted to discuss 317 a little bit because I honestly think this is a really strange situation that's going on with this card. So the main event is Ilya versus Charles. Phenomenal main event. Super fight. Awesome, right? Pantoja France, excellent co-main. Beneil versus Moicano. Number 9 versus number 10 on the main card is a bit... right? We keep going. Royval versus now Joshua Van. It's not Manel Cap. It's actually Joshua Van, which is pretty awesome, right? So Joshua Van Royval is happening, which is a better fight. I prefer this as a fight. But here's the problem, right? And we'll keep going here. Costa versus Kopylov. Two bottom-ranked guys. Hermanson Rodriguez, unranked. And then Janata Denise, Justin Tafa. Now, you would think Denise versus Tafa would be on the prelims, right? Because they don't really have like an official bout order here. It doesn't really say like what's the prelims and what's the early prelims and what's the main card. But if we look at this, and this is Brandon Royval's Instagram story, and this is coming right from the UFC broadcast, right? Ilya Charles, Pantoja France, Kostler Kopylov, Dariush Moicano, the opener of the card, Janata Denise versus Justin Tafa. And then, of course, Royval said 1 versus 6. So, talking about the rankings, right? Number 1 ranked versus number 6 ranked. Naturally, he's on the prelims. Which is, of course, he's going to be angry about it. He's a highly ranked flyweight, and they're going to throw him on the prelims. And it's not even like, oh, it's Mokaev versus like a Manel Cap or something. No, it's like... It's Cap versus Royval or Royval versus Van, whichever one you want to pick. Both are going to be scraps. They're both going to be fun fights. And even if you didn't want to put the flyweights on the main card, at least put like Hermanson versus Rodriguez over Denise versus Tafa. At least. Janata Denise versus Justin Tafa's on the main card of a pay-per-view. Why? What dirt do they have? Denise is coming off of a loss. Tafa's coming off of a loss. Excuse me. Both are unranked, I believe, as well. Why did they love the Tafa brothers so much? The fact that they haven't been cut is pretty crazy, too, because I think one of them has a record of like 7-5. I think it's Justin Tafa that has that record. They're shit. They're just shit. But they're Samoans and they're Australians, mate. Who cares, man? They can't fight to save their lives and they're fat. And they're man babies as well. They try to jump Volter Walker outside the arena, apparently. After that whole leg bar thing where he screamed like a baby and he tapped and I don't know. Janata Denise, Justin Tafa on the main card. And I thought this card was going to be better. I really did. I know Lucas Tracy talked about this, and I don't think it's as bad as he's saying. I don't like the placement of it. Like, if the main card was Van versus Royval, Dariush Moicano, Costa Kopylov, and then Pantoja, and then 2 title fights, it's like, it's still a bit weak, though. It's still missing like a Yuri Prohaska versus so-and-so, an Armin versus a so-and-so, a Gaethje versus a so-and-so, a Pimblett. It's missing that name, in my opinion, and I think it does kind of need like a name like that, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't know. I've seen worse cards, but this you have like a couple of bottom-ranked guys here, like Dariush and Moicano are number 9 and number 10. Costa and Kopylov are like 14 and 13 ranked. You know? And then Denise and Tafa are unranked. I don't know what's going on with the main cards of these pay-per-views, and I don't know. I don't know anymore. And I said I was going to kind of expand upon this earlier, but it might legitimately just be a case of like no one wants to fight. And I'm not trying to like be Dana, and I'm not even trying to defend Dana in the UFC right now, but why is Charles Oliveira fighting now when we haven't seen him since November and he took minimal damage? Where's Yuri? I know he's doing school right now, but come on. Come on, Yuri. Your job is to be a fighter, brother. Pereira is now saying he wants to fight in September, October, or November. Meanwhile, he said, no, I want to fight in August against Ankalaev. Now he's pushing it to those 3 dates. So now they have to find a spot for Pereira, which, I mean, of course, he's a big star, but I'm just saying, like, you know? Then you got guys like, Gaethje is threatening to retire if he doesn't get a title shot. Armin was kind of threatening, like, if he doesn't get a title shot by the end of the year, he might leave. He's legitimately said that on the Jackson pod. I don't know if he was joking or not, but still. Patty doesn't want to fight Armin. He wants Gaethje. Islam didn't want to fight Ilya. It's a lot of, like, just, I don't want to fight him. I don't want to fight him. So the UFC, I don't know if it's just the fighters are getting overpaid now. I don't know what it is. It's just so much of, like, and not even just that, the pullouts. Mano Cat pulled out. Armin Sarukian pulled out. Macy Barber, who cares about her? I know, but still, she pulled out. And she was like number 2 ranked, I think. She was highly ranked. So many pullouts. Constantly on all these cards. Pull out, pull out, pull out, pull out. Or you just got guys that don't want to fight. Mavov doesn't want to fight Braujo. Braujo doesn't want to fight Strickland because they're buddies. It's just like cherry picking. Where's Strickland? Strickland last fought in what, February? There's no news about him. This is just we're in a drought, and I don't even think it's fully the UFC's fault. I'm gonna defend them a little bit. Again, all these fighters not wanting to fight each other, just wanting to fight this guy or that guy, or no, but he has to earn a fight against me, and then John not wanting to fight Tom. Don't even get me started on that. I forgot about that, to be honest with you. Cyril Gane is off doing movies. I've already spoken about all these things, but it's not fully on the UFC, in my opinion. And then sticking with Dana, we can talk about this, his tweet recently. Turkey wants to make the biggest fights that the fans want to see in boxing, and this is right on my alley. I can't read for shit. Are you kidding me that the first boxing fight I'm going to get to promote is Canelo versus Crawford? It's literally a once-in-a-lifetime fight. Live on Saturday, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, why don't you try promoting Charles versus Ilya? Can you imagine? I feel like I've said this for so many months since I've started MMA YouTube. Can you imagine if they did like a press conference in Brazil for Charles versus Ilya, or one in Spain, one in Brazil, one in Spain, one in Vegas, just like they did for Aldo versus Conor? Because you know what's crazy is Canelo versus Crawford, they're going to do multiple press conferences. Because of course they are. That's called promotion. I truly think Dana's going to be out of the UFC by the end of the year. I think it's, and I honestly hope that he is. Maybe I'm going to regret this, and maybe it's going to get worse before it gets better. Maybe it's going to get better. I don't know, but I want change because the UFC is in a drought right now. There's no pay-per-view in September. I think I skipped over that as well, but he says that in the press conference. There's no pay-per-view in September. Embarrassing, bro. Embarrassing. That's all I got for you guys today. Dana White's washed. Unk don't got it no more. We need him out of here. Make sure you guys like and sub. Become a member in the description. What are you guys' thoughts on this whole Dana White UFC saga? Part of it is their fault. Part of it isn't. Fighters got egos now too, so it's just kind of, it's all just a mess. That's all I got. Peace.